James Harden sends a message to Clippers management that sounds like a middle-aged stripper asking if you want two dances. Sean McVay warns the scribes, don't give me any dumbass trade rumors, and the Chargers are becoming the passport bros of the NFL. Good morning. I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos Morning Report. So it is January 18, 2024. Terrific day. Can't wait to spend it with the wife. Hey, do you like being in the know about LA sports? Well, if you do, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. And by all means, comment. I try to get back to every one of you guys when you do. Now, before we go through the news and notes, a look at the scoreboard. Behold, the Lakers returneth to 500 after a 127-110 victory over Dallas. D'Angelo Russell led the Lakers with 29 points. Meanwhile, 12th ranked Arizona smacked down USC last night. Let's be real, the Trojans are starting to circle the drain a little bit. Arizona 82, USC 67. DJ Rodman scored 16 points. The Bruins have a very modest winning streak of 2. But they beat Arizona State last night 68-66. Lazar Stefanovic scored 18 points for UCLA. Meanwhile today, the Kings are finally back home after that really ugly road trip. They're going to be playing Nashville at 7. But let's get to the news. James Harden says he's happy and that he's looking for one more contract to stay in LA and to retire as a Clipper. Now, we've already mentioned this. He can't negotiate an extension like Kawhi Leonard did and like Paul George can. Harden has to wait until the summer to sign. But there's one thing about all this happy talk, the happiest of the happy talk, that gives me pause. He said he was happy in Philadelphia last year. And then look what happened, right? He wanted to retire as a Sixer. He was so happy in Philadelphia. Now, I do not want to diminish the fact that the Clippers are on a roll, because they are. And I don't want to downplay the fact that James Harden has been a legit major contributor to this role, because he has. For that matter, when Leonard signed his extension about a week or so ago, he said he did so in the hopes that the franchise would keep Paul George and Harden. But can you really count James Harden at his word when he says he loves being here? Oh, I love being in Oklahoma City. I love being in Houston. Oh, gosh darn it, I so love being in Brooklyn. Man, I love being in Philadelphia. Look, James Harden is coming across like the middle-aged stripper who paid the plastic surgeon really well so that she could come to you and ask for those 2 dances so she could complete junior college. That's what it looks like to me right now. I mean, it's been a few years since I've been to the local Spearmint Rhino, but I'm pretty confident that the pickup lines from those girls hasn't changed. You're kind of cute. Insert dude name here. This is so hot. Insert dude name here. You know, I have a room where I can give you those 2 private dances and pay for my tuition. Insert dude's name here. I'm sorry. I understand what's going on here. James Harden's playing for a final big bag. Let's be real with ourselves on this. And if you want to give him that bag, if you're a Clipper fan, who am I to tell you? Let's just not act like he's so in love with being a Clipper. The Clippers are releasing information about their new crib, as the kids say, Intuit Arena. It's going to open next season. One of the features that's been getting heavy play is going to be a section behind one of the hoops. Super steep, because they're doing something very similar to what soccer stadiums in the United States have. They call it the wall. They're envisioning a soccer stadium atmosphere where to be on the wall, you have to wear Clipper gear. You can't wear other teams' gear. You have to be pro Clippers. And it all sounds cool, like this idea that they're all going to start chanting and singing, much like LAFC fans, Galaxy fans, any soccer fan. You watch a soccer game, you wonder about what's all that singing coming from. That's coming from the supporters section. They're trying to do the same thing. But while it sounds cool, there is a flaw in the matrix. I just don't think there's enough Clipper fans out there to fill the wall. Can we just be real with ourselves on this? I don't see enough Clipper fans to fill the wall on a regular basis because this is LA. It's kind of like that line in A Few Good Men. The advertising is going to be making itself, right? We want you on that wall. We need you on that wall. And you know what? That's a line from Jack Nicholson, who is a Lakers fan. I'm not a Clipper hater. This is a Lakers town. Stop it. The wall. And by the way, they took the photo from the court level to show the wall and how allegedly intimidating it could be for opponents. And that very well may be the truth. But that thing goes straight up. They took a shot from the top straight down. And that's a $5,000 a year season ticket so you could go get yourself a nice case of vertigo. Just saying, guys. Just saying. Rams coach Sean McVay said he is, quote, 100%, absolutely, unequivocally behind Matthew Stafford returning next year. Teams who inquired about Stafford last year were wasting their breath, despite what the scribes were writing. Moreover, McVay said that any speculation about Stafford's future with the team, quote, would be a good way to get me really riled up. Couldn't be more committed to having him lead us next year, unquote. Now, do you think that's going to stop the scribes from pitching trade rumors? Hell no, it's not going to stop the scribes from pitching trade rumors. Look at this board. It just has ones for the Dodgers and Lakers alone. It's been a filthy mess ever since November. But here is a quarterback that the Rams might not be, quote, 100% absolutely unequivocally, unquote, behind. That would be Stetson Bennett. Remember him? The dude was drafted in the 4th round, played in the preseason, actually started a game in the preseason. They were envisioning him as a long-term solution, maybe not as a starter, but at least to boost up, the bench. They said they loved him, but then he went on the non-football illness list before the season and poof, was never heard from again. The Rams never said why. And now McVay is telling The Athletic he doesn't know if Bennett will return. Kyren Williams had surgery, by the way, to repair a broken bone in his hand, which was injured during the Detroit game. We don't know if the Detroit safety went head first into Kyren Williams' hand, much like he went helmet first into Tyler Higbee's knee, but that's another story for another time. By the way, zero respect for Detroit for trying to say that was a clean hit. Just turn the page. You don't have to confess that dude intentionally tried to blast Tyler Higbee's knee up into the mesosphere. You don't have to be that honest about it. I get it. You don't want your guy to get suspended. But don't tell me that was clean. Especially after that dude has done that now and blasted out the knees of 2 tight ends. Once, accident. 2, you're dirty. Straight up. McVay told The Athletic that they will wait to see if another team hires defensive coordinator Raheem Morris as a head coach before they go out to replace defensive line coach Eric Henderson. Henderson, as you might recall, left for USC. Morris has 5 teams that want to interview him for their head coaching vacancy. And that, by the way, would include the Chargers. Speaking of the Chargers, I get that the sexier news about them is their coaching search. You and I, we both understand that. But the Bolts did interview 2 prospective general managers yesterday. Saints assistant GM Jeff Ireland, Indianapolis assistant general manager Ed Dodds. Ireland was previously a GM for Miami a little bit more than 10 years ago. The Chargers, they have been doing their diligence. They've interviewed 7 potential GMs, as well as 9 potential head coaches. And look, you know me, if you've been watching this place regularly, I respect teams who are candid with us about their offseason plans. We get that you can't name names, but if you're saying, hey, we're kind of looking at this, we need this, I respect that. Because the Rams were extremely candid with us last offseason about what they were trying to do with this so-called remodel as opposed to a rebuild. Look at soccer. The LA Galaxy have been very candid with their fans about what they're trying to do on their version of a rebuild. But I got to be real. The Chargers told us they were casting a wide net, which I do respect. But if this net gets any wider, they're going to start looking overseas for coaches. It's going to be like Ted Lasso in reverse. Right? Going to sit there and grab a coach from La Liga to coach in the NFL. Break out your passports, Bolts fans. Next stop for a GM, the Philippines. I think when we look at the wreckage, this is just my opinion, what I'm about to say, by the way, but I think when we look at the wreckage of the Chargers season, I would argue that a big part of their problems was a disastrous draft from 2023. You want to talk about something that sank Tom Telesco, the outgoing GM, that would be it. In my opinion, because of all of the roster churn in the NFL, trying to keep contracts low, who's producing, who's not, you want to draft at least 3 starters in every draft. 3. Because you keep changing things over. You've got to have new people coming in on a regular basis. And you would prefer that those starters be in the first 3 rounds. Unless, of course, it's a franchise quarterback that you're trying to teach the game before you put him on the field. The closest that the Bolts had to 1 regular starter from last year's draft was Tuli Tuipulotu. That was it. 1 rush end. And he only started 11 games due to the injuries that the Bolts had on their defensive front. No other Chargers pick came close to being a regular starter. Not first round pick Quentin Johnston, not third round pick linebacker Deion Henley. None of them. Henley was more likely to be seen on the special teams. So the Chargers were not a deep football team. And when they started getting injured, they didn't have suitable backups to come in and replace them. Just saying. Dustin May has started a throwing program less than a year after his second Tommy John surgery. Now, both surgeries were to repair the ulnar collateral ligament in his right elbow. The Dodger pitcher confessed that he was also in chronic pain after his first Tommy John surgery. And that literally sucks. Imagine going in to get a repair on something that you literally make your entire livelihood on, and then you come out and it's even in more pain than before. It's not like you could just sit there, see the check engine light come on after your oil change and turn around and go back to Jiffy Lube. Tommy John surgery has an 18-month recovery window. And by the way, that recovery window makes his time frame a little awkward. Yes, you see the pic on Instagram or the clip on Instagram, and you get optimistic about May pitching this year. And his goal is to be pitching by the end of this season. But that's exactly what Dodger fans were being told last year with Walker Buehler. Didn't happen. Take a moment and please note that our Idiot Scribe trade rumor board for the Lakers, the second column, it's almost ready to challenge the Idiot Scribe rumor board for the Dodgers in terms of space on the whiteboard. These trade rumors, though, might have some semblance in reality because it's from ESPN. I doubt they're real, but there might be some semblance in reality. ESPN is reporting that the Lakers are interested in Washington guard Tyus Jones or Utah guard Colin Sexton. The Jazz promoted Sexton to the starting lineup in December. He's averaged 22 points per game ever since. There are 3 weeks until the trade deadline, by the way. Instead of signing players, LAFC bought a majority stake in a Swiss team called Grasshopper. Grasshopper is a 27-time champion that was founded in the 19th century, which is crazy. But Grasshopper has slumped to Switzerland's second division in the last couple of decades. They haven't won a title in 20 years, which is cool and all, that you now have a bit of an international soccer empire, I guess. But who the hell's playing left back in LA, guys? Did you forget about that? Former LAFC goalie Maxime Crepeau has signed to play for Portland, so he landed on his feet. And that would include the one that was unfortunately shattered his leg in MLS Cup 2 years ago. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. If you are a Clippers fan, are you all in on James Harden? Do you believe that the Rams are absolutely 100% unequivocally committed to Matthew Stafford? And if you enjoy the content, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We're talking LA sports every single day here. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Corte El Queso production. Take care.